So I just saw the movie last night, and what struck me is that the role that you're playing is actually very tricky and difficult to do, and to do it well without. And this doesn't mean that I think you look silly, but there's a risk always when you're playing that swoony, good-looking guy. And I just wondered if when you first read the screenplay, did that frighten you in any way, or what was your first reaction?
I thought it was impossible when I first read it. And so I didn't go and I got told about it about 5 months before I did the audition, and I was just like, I can't do it. It's impossible for art to play. You can only play it as a kind of two-dimensional like blob. Like you just have to be like a man meat. Like you just come in and taking your shirt off and like, you know, just be some bland thing which people can project whatever they want onto, and I didn't have to do that. I didn't even want to bother getting a six-pack. I mean, so even in the audition, that was part of the audition. You had to take your shirt off. Like, just, I was like, seriously, I don't even. I mean, I'll tell you right now, like, if that's the contest, I won't get it. But
they actually made you work out a little, as I recall.
Yeah, no, I worked out tons for it. But yeah, no, it is a very tricky part, especially if you don't want to end up like an idiot. I haven't seen it, so I mean, I probably did end up looking like an idiot.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, I went and I thought at the beginning when he's, you know, when you read the book and you don't understand why he's behaving the way he does, you know, it must have been sort of, you know, why are you behaving like an asshole, you know, at the beginning?
Yeah.
Why are you? Explain it.
Well, it's like. It's the same thing about, like, if you think, I mean, trying to humanize it, it's literally if you think you're a dick, then, I mean, in the most basic terms, and you really like someone, and you feel there's a connection there, and there's a possibility of something happening. I mean, I do this so many times, like, whenever I like someone, I'm just like, don't like me, that I'm a dick, like, and that was the kind of mentality to obviously much more extreme effects, but like you can't stop hanging out with the person, but at the same time whenever you're around them you're like, seriously, that you really should not, like, I'm going to ruin you.
So how did
I just realised why Stephanie Meyer said in that interview why I wouldn't be a good boyfriend. I've suddenly realised. I was just wondering all day.
Well, you're a very good boyfriend. You're the fantasy boyfriend in this, which is one of the reasons why women are responding as strongly as they are. Can you analyze that a little in terms of, you know, it's the part that was written, it's the part that's created that people are responding to so strongly, and then they're throwing you into the mix.
They just transferred it over.
Exactly.
I still don't really know, because I mean, I think I played it different to how it is in the book. I mean, you see, I don't know, I felt like I was doing it slightly differently.
Explain. No, tell me, what was your concept?
Well, I mean, just in the book, he's so in control of himself. Like, even though he says he isn't, you always get the feeling of security when you're reading the book. You know that when he says, I don't want to do anything to harm you, you know I'll never harm her, ever. But I really wanted to make it, you know, a lot of stuff I had to change because it was too different from the book. But I mean, even little tiny things like at the end when at the prom, I mean, just silly little things. I tried to make it look painful.
You did. You looked like you were struggling.
Yeah. Oh,
that's good. No, and well, there's something else that goes into movies. They have to look real.
Yeah.
You know, you have to bring it to life.
Yeah.
As it were. And was there a debate about the makeup?
Yeah, a lot of it.
Tell me what went on with that.
Well, I think because I don't have very many lines on my face and stuff, they couldn't do like too white because it took away all my expression, and so it was much. I guess mine is a lot finer, the makeup, than on a lot of the other vampires, because I just looked like a kind of kabuki thing. I mean, kind of half kabuki, half like transvestite, and I mean, so they had to do that, and then they ended up doing an airbrush thing, and then I forgot somebody else brought up like lipstick. Which I didn't really understand the concept behind the lipstick, but just various different things. I mean, I wasn't particularly involved. I was just like the victim.
You did what you were told, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't even think about the makeup and stuff when I was going into it.
So I was looking. I got a screener of the movie How to Be.
Oh, really?
Yes. And I wondered why it hasn't got a distributor. Have you any knowledge of that? And when did you shoot that in relation to this movie, Twilight?
That was this year I was doing Twilight. I shot it last year, in spring last year. I don't know why it hasn't got a distributor. I think it's just because it's just very random. I mean, that's why I liked it. It was kind of, it's almost impossible to market. And whenever you see like a kind of how they've tried to market, it's like that's not what it is.
I was thinking that if they put it up on the internet, your fans would want to watch it,
well, yeah,
and that would be a way to present it.
I think that's what all the festivals it's going into now. It's definitely. Twilight's obviously helping it out. It always gets like the Audience Choice Awards and all these things, because Twilight fans will turn up to it. I went to the Austin Film Festival and it was like packed. There were like hundreds of people there.
But it's this little, tiny, low-budget, quirky British movie. Yeah, and he's very sad sack, very depressed.
Yeah. I love that. I love the script so much. It was so different to other things I read. And even that, I thought the end of it I loved so much, but it's changed now. But at the end, when he has the big gig at the end, no one clapped in the script at all, and he doesn't even notice. And I saw that's such a great feel-good ending, where it's not really a feel-good ending at all, but the guy feels good, and maybe he'll be happy the next day, maybe he won't.
I understand you're a good musician, or you like to play music. So you wrote a song for this movie?
I didn't write it for the movie. A friend of mine wrote, two friends of mine that wrote lyrics to one of the songs, like years ago, and I wrote another one with another guy last year, and they were just recorded on my computer, and I'd never been in the studio before or anything, and I think Nikki Reed gave a CD to Catherine, and Catherine just put in these two songs in the cut, and then asked me to come and look at it, and I thought it looked quite cool, and so I didn't really think about it. Even when they put it in, it was right at the beginning of the edit, so it wasn't even as hyped as it is now, and so I didn't really think about it. I didn't even know they were going to be on the soundtrack, and until fairly recently.
Are you interested in pursuing music as a career?
Not right now, because I think it's kind of tacky to like cashing in on something. If it was my movie and I'd written it and everything, then I wouldn't have any problem with it. But I don't want to do it off the back of somebody else's work. So.
And what is your plan as far as the kinds of movies you'd like to do now? Little Ashes is coming out in March, which is a very different kind of romance, a gay romance.
Not even romance.
Well, how would you describe it?
There's a lot of similarities between Twilight and that.
Tell me.
Well, sort of, very vaguely. No, it's just a kind of, I guess it's sort of devastating, right? It's when two people essentially fall in love with each other, arguably, and no one really knows what the extent of their actual relationship was. In the film, you sort of do, and it kind of, and it ruins everything in both of their lives. Not so much in Lorca's, but it really does destroy a lot of things in Dolly, but mainly because he's such an intensely sensitive man. He had so many neuroses about everything. His sanity and his sensibility was such a knife edge, his whole life. It would have been impossible to do anything. But I guess in Twilight it's the kind of same thing, but they kind of figure it out, whereas in Little Ashes they can figure it out.